we're going to tack it down. So what you guys are going to do, like I said before, you can put an X on your fabric if you really want to try to hit the center of the X so it's like you're sewing in the same spot. But with tacking it down, you're going to grab a couple of the threads, okay? You're going to pull through, leave a little tail at the end. With my opposite thumb, I'm going to hold that down. I'm going to go through the exact same spot again. I'm going to pull tight. Do that again. Pull tight, make sure it's no loops are there. Now I'm just gonna go a little security. We're gonna go 4 times. You can honestly go as many times as you want, but at least 3 is normally good. Okay. Now I'm gonna cut my tail. Much better. Okay, we'll start with the flap button. So I would choose one with 4 holes, nice and flat, like this, okay? And so what you're gonna do is just start by going through one of the holes, just like so, okay? And then you always want to, you don't wanna do a crisscross. I like to do them parallel. So I'm gonna go through a parallel hole, and I am going to angle my needle so I'm sewing in the same spot that I started with, or as close as I can get, right? This will be the hardest part, especially as you do more stitches. And just making sure every stitch we pull tight, okay? Now from the back side, I'm gonna go up through that same spot. I come through the hole again, okay? You have to kind of like hold it in place for a little bit until it's secure. And then I'm just gonna go across. And I'm gonna try to angle it and go right through that back. Again, I'm using red thread so you guys can see it a little better. You could do that for your samples if you want, but if it was a real garment, you'd really want to make sure it's matching. So unless you were like going for a bold statement or something, but you're just going to do that about 4 or 5 times just to make sure it's nice and secure. Pulling tight. Remember, if you see any loopy guys, just individually pull on each of those threads and it should pull your loops through. Okay, and I'm gonna do that one more time. So I'm going through the same spot as much as I can. Just makes it look nice and clean. Pull tight. Okay, now so that I go to the next spot, you want to do that from the back side. That's super important so it looks nice and neat. So I'm just going to angle it. I'm going through the same spot on this side. Actually, I missed a little, but I like to angle it just a little to the side. Sorry, it's probably hard to tell. And then now I'm coming up through my other set, just like so. And I'm just going to repeat what I did on the other side. So angle it back to the center. If you can't get it right on there, that's okay. Just try your best to get it nice and close. So you basically just go from the front to the back. Again, we're going to do that about 4 or 5 times. Pull tight every time. You'll have the strongest buttons you've ever had on a garment. Okay, pull tight. And then once you have that, so you have your nice 2 parallel lines, just like so, the last step on a flat button is you need to create a shank to slightly lift it off so that when you button it to inside the buttonhole, it just makes it a little bit easier. So it like lifts it right off of the fabric a little bit. So what I'm gonna do from the back side is I'm gonna go in the same spot like I've been doing through my fabric, but I'm gonna come up through the side like this. So I'm under the button, I'm not through any of the holes. And then once I do that, you're gonna take your thread and you're just going to wrap it around the button a few times. So you're creating a shank. Make sure you're twisting it pretty tight. Okay, be kind of aware of how much you have left. So I'll kind of angle this so you can see it. So now there's a little shank wrapped around the bottom. Just gonna lift it off a little bit. And then wherever you're done twisting it, from under the button, sorry, you can't see it very well, but pull that back. You're gonna go back to the back side and we'll do our final tacking it down, pull tight, on the back side. So right where all my stitches are, all in the same spot, you're just going to pick up a little bit of your thread or your fabric. And you're just gonna sew in the exact same spot 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Once you do that, so it's just like we started, you'll cut your thread off, and then you should have a nice, secure, flat button with a little shank to lift it off. And that's it.